right, we've now been joined by our pole sitter for tomorrow's race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the NASCAR Xfinity Series by Jesse Love, driver of the number 2 Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. And Jesse, we made this announcement a little bit earlier before you came in to the room here, but you become the first driver in the NASCAR Xfinity Series history to win consecutive poles in their first 2 starts in the series. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You can go for 3 next week in Vegas. But tell us a little bit about that run and what you're looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, obviously it's really cool. I'd say to I think, we've broken 1 or 2 records now. So, these qualifyings, these speedways, there's a little bit the driver can do, but the biggest thing is it just speaks volumes to how good our team is. Everybody knows how good Danny Stockman is, and our car chief, Bug, him, they all click together really well, and our road crew is just phenomenal. So it's just a pleasure to drive those race cars, and to get wheel and engineering in the spotlight really early is awesome. So my goal is to hopefully get locked in the playoffs in the first 5 or 10 races, and obviously we have another good shot tomorrow night. So I think I learned a little bit of a lesson at Daytona with how fast our car is. I can probably take my time a little bit more than other guys and still get to the front pretty quickly. So I'm going to implement that tomorrow night, hopefully win the first stage and get some more playoff points and points in general. But after that, just kind of take my time and methodically get to the front. I feel like last week I was just a rabid dog trying to get back to the front. So our cars are really good leading, and that's probably why. But they handle really well too. So yeah, it's awesome, and we have another good shot at it tomorrow night.
All right, we'll go ahead and go for questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll work to get a mic to you. We'll start in the back with Doug.
Hey, thank you, Jesse. Doug Turnbull for WSB in Atlanta and from PRN. You talked about trying to fight through traffic after winning the first stage at Daytona last week and winning the pole. I know these tracks are different, but they have similar characteristics, and of course you're brand new to the series. So what did you learn about what the cars can take and can't take, especially in the pack, with how twitchy as they seem to be, at least to us watching on TV?
Yeah, they can't take a monster push when you're stacked up like it was last week. But I'd say this week, they're definitely more on edge, but the pack's also a little bit less tight than it is at Daytona and Talladega. So where you kind of lose something in the fact that you're just more on edge here, you kind of gain back in the fact where the pack's a little bit more spread out and the gaps aren't quite as tight. So at least that's just from what I've seen. I could be completely wrong tomorrow night. but no, I'd say my car, with as fast as it is, normally you kind of lose some handling with that speed being that trimmed out. And for whatever reason, it drove really good at Daytona, and I was able to move around. And I think that was kind of why I made really aggressive moves early, was because I know how much grip I have and how much stability I have. So tomorrow, I'm just going to try to err on the side of caution until it's crunch time. But at the same time, I know I have to be aggressive. Kind of set a precedent early of how I'm going to race. But at the same time, we have a lot of Chevrolets up front, a little bit less this week than we did last week, and that definitely makes things a little more, carefree in a sense. But yeah, our cars are really good, and hopefully me and Austin can kind of just get out front and set the pace. And I feel like when we have 2 RCR cars out front, that we can kind of hopefully stink up the show for the first 40 laps, or however many the first stage is. I think it's 60.
All right, additional questions. Chris, do you have a question?
Chris Knight, CatchNets.com. Congrats, Jesse. You never been to Atlanta before, so what do you expect for tomorrow, and how are you preparing for it? Have you talked to Austin, or how have you been preparing for this weekend?
Yeah, good seeing you. I'd say I've done a lot of prep. I try not to overthink things. When Jesse thinks it's not normally a good thing, so I try to just kind of go by the seat of my pants, kind of have that sprint car mindset, really, and even in the pavement world, I think helps me execute better and make good decisions. But at the same time, Austin has been the best teammate that I've ever had to work with so far. And with that, he answers a lot of questions that I now know the answer to that I wouldn't, I'd have to go learn that on the racetrack. So I feel like I have a really good mindset going in tomorrow. It's a little bit more pulled back than I was at Daytona, where I was just going to go try to lead every lap. I think this time, just, again, knowing how fast RCR guys build their car, that I can take my time a little bit more. So I know that, how this place races just by watching it. I'm not going to know how it's going to feel until tomorrow in the pack. But I'm looking forward to it. I think our cars are going to be good enough to where I can kind of move around and make some decisions when I need to go, make some ground up. But for that first stage, just about, kind of keeping track position and hopefully, we have a good bit of Chevys up front to where we can all kind of, just, I guess, play nice, right? The end of stage 2 or stage 1, racing with Austin at Daytona, I learned a lot of just, how to manage my run and my side drafting and things like that. And everything at Daytona you got to be more aggressive with here because the lines move quicker and runs come quicker and there's more off throttle time, right? So at the same time, it is going to be a little bit more, cooler out tomorrow than I kind of anticipated. So I think the pack's going to be a little bit tighter, and you're going to see like the bottom work a little bit less than it would if it was hot, just because you can't really squirt through the middle or the bottom on guys that are wide open when their car's handling really well. So tomorrow just hopefully win the first stage, and then I'll lose my track position obviously by guys short pitting the stage, and then after that I'll probably take my time and learn for a while. And then be aggressive when I know what I got.
And then your buddy Daniel Dye won his first Truck Series pole earlier in the day. You had us chuckling here by calling him Danny Dimes. So is that a nickname that you gave him, or can you give us
funny.
a story?
We got a little group chat going. It's called OG for some reason. I have no idea why. But yeah, it's like me, Daniel, Jonathan, Josh Jones' son, Jonathan, Brent Cruz and Connor Zilich, and I was so pumped for Daniel. He deserves it. He's working really hard this year, and he wants it really bad. He's such a good kid and one of my closer friends. So to see his hard work paying off is really awesome. And hopefully tomorrow night he can keep his Chevrolet out front.
Did you come up with that?
No, sorry. So that's the whole point of the question. I forgot to answer. So he just all of a sudden just called himself Danny Dimes, and I said, okay, bud. If self-proclaimed nickname, I'll go along with it. But we got a few golfing nicknames I give him, and he loves poker, so I got him some poker nicknames. Call him the Fish sometimes and things like that. But he wouldn't like if I said that. But no, congrats to him. Hopefully the Cup cars we can have another Chevy 1, 2, 3 again, and that'd be great.
Okay, we'll go to Lee.
Lee Spencer, CatchFence.com. Congratulations. What has Danny Stockman been able to impress upon you in your, basically debut season in Xfinity? Because he's got a wealth of knowledge. I'm just wondering, what is your big takeaway from Danny?
Yeah, I'm going to try to make this shorter because I can talk about Danny for a long time. Anybody that knows him knows how good he is. Anybody that knows him knows how high-strung he can be because he's so intense, right? And I think his intensity just kind of, woke up part of the shop. And he built a really great team around this 2-car. And again, like these first, we're wide open around here, right? Like there's very little that the driver can do. And I say that because, it speaks, tons to how good our cars are and how good Danny is at building fast race cars. So there are small things that crew chiefs can do right now to make speed. And the funny thing is he's being a little bit conservative right now, I feel like. He still has more in the tank, and he's awesome. I love Danny. He's been awesome to me, and all the guys on our team. It's not just Danny, right? It's Bug, it's Chris Bass, and Don John, and Pop Top. All those guys on that team are working so hard, especially this week with how short of a week we had. So Danny's been great, and I'm looking forward to having a bad night one night to see how he reacts to that. We react pretty much the same. So, things the off season was as positive and productive as it could have been. And I think we both, deal with adversity the same. So he's been great. I'm looking forward to, getting through the season and hopefully getting some wins with him.
All right. Anybody else? All right. Congratulations, Jesse. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.